Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me today. My name is Tracy, and today I am sharing with you a project that I've been working on for a while, and I'm excited to get it started. It is Seven Hermetics, and it is looking at how to find balance with the mind, body, and soul, but through the lens of the Hermetic Principles, and to help you to find harmony and balance in your everyday life. And so to get started, I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. Okay. So I want to start with the idea of looking at our health as energy and incorporating how the ancients may have done it via the Hermetic lens. So Hermeticism is a philosophical and a religious tradition rooted in the teachings from the Greeks and the Egyptian gods Hermes and Thoth. So there are 7 Hermetic principles. I'm not going to dive deeply in them today, but I will touch on them to give you an overview. But the 7 Hermetic principles bring the energy of the cosmos of our being down into our bodies, or in other words, from a macro lens to a micro lens. You may have heard the as above, so below, which is one of the laws of correspondence from the Hermetic Principles. And if you believe that everything is energy, you can understand then that energy is everywhere around us and it affects us on all levels down to our mind, body, soul levels. So we are multidimensional beings. So in order to heal, we need to look at all layers of our being, including the non-physical. So I'm going to start out by discussing the patterns found from the cosmic energy, then through the elemental energies, the zodiac energies, and finally into our body, mind, and soul. So this is an image I took. It's of the zodiac man. It's taken from the Farmer's Almanac book. If you've never looked at a Farmer's Almanac, I say go pick one up. They have tons of amazing information, not just about gardening and farming, but other really interesting information that also includes the zodiac. But this graphic does recognize the human form, considering the zodiac energies and how they apply into our body. So I will be touching a little bit on astrology today, but that is not my main focus of these videos. I really want to concentrate on the energy throughout the year and how it affects our body as we enter into these different zodiac energies. So like I mentioned, I just wanted to touch on the 7 Hermetic principles, and here they are listed for you. What I want to just point out is that they all have to do with energy. So whether you believe that the cosmos can affect us energetically, just think about the moon, right? So we know that it affects our tides and other things here on Earth. And it affects, I mean, the greatest example is women's bodies, right? Our cycle kind of sometimes gets synced with the moon, and so we can see that reflected there. So to start out, we are in Scorpio season. So I wanted to start out, today is actually November 1st. And so Scorpio is, so again, the times are from October 23rd to November 21st. And I'll be covering everything Scorpio related in this video, and then how to interpret it and apply it into your daily life. So Scorpio, the trait for Scorpio is desire. This energy mostly desires legacy and shared wealth, not to be taken lightly, a relentless force that's deeply rooted in longing that drives them forward. Okay. So also the dominant key word for Scorpio is idealism. So if we think of the energy of idealism, it's not merely a fleeting dream, but a guided principle that shapes actions and decisions. And the pursuit of one's ideals, often without regard, have practical ends. So all this information is just to keep in the back of your mind as we move forward through the Scorpio energy. So I also like to look at the elements, the elemental energies. And so for Scorpio, we're looking at fixed water. So fixed water is not a flowing type of water. This is a more, it's not like a river or stream. It's more of a bog or a swamp, but it can flow at times. So with the water element, we know emotions can be high or triggered. So we need to know what tools work to balance our own emotions. The body parts reflected in Scorpio, as you saw in the last graphic, the zodiac man, are related to the genitals, the bowels, the reproductive organs, and the bladder. And even though the nose isn't in that general region, it's considered to be a Scorpio body part. Okay, so all of these main organs are located in the sacral plexus or the second chakra. And if you're not familiar with the chakras, we have 7 chakra energy centers in the body, starting with the first at our tailbone and goes up through to the top of our head, ending at the crown chakra located at the top. And it's also associated with the water element here in the second chakra. So each zodiac sign is also ruled by a planet. So for Scorpio, it is ruled by Pluto. Some also say Mars, but I am not going to go into Mars here in this video. We're just going to concentrate on Pluto. And the body parts reflected by Pluto energy are the pancreas, the digestive glands, and the enzymes. And I think this is important to mention since we are getting into the holiday season here in the United States. And being mindful of our sweets and carbohydrate intake is valid to consider, as is overeating and high fat intake and all of that. So just good to keep in mind those body parts as well. So every zodiac sign has an opposite sign. So it is 180 degrees opposite on the zodiac wheel, and we could see this as a balance or as shadow work, right? And every sign has one. It's always going to be the opposite sign on the zodiac. So the opposite of Scorpio is Taurus, and Taurus is known for possessions, money, owning, having, and the energy in the body is reflected in the throat center or the 5th chakra. Okay, so moving on into our first part of this body, mind, and soul, we're going to start with the body and nourishing the body through nutrition. So let's apply this information starting with the body, which is my wheelhouse since I'm a dietitian. Scorpio happens to be, like I mentioned, in the northern hemisphere during our fall season. So the weather is starting to cool. And we can see the energy around us is changing in nature, from the trees, the plants losing leaves, the trees losing leaves, and the energy is moving down into the roots to go dormant for the winter and storing energy. So we are mirrors of this energy as well. At this time, we may be harvesting, gathering seeds, and slowing down, starting to go within and look for more warming and hearty foods. Okay, that's why it's so important to eat along with the seasons, right? We find that food is more abundant right now, and like I said, it's in season, and it's exactly what the body needs to transition into this new season. So if we think back to our Scorpio fixed water, we need to be eliminating moving, stagnation, and cleansing. So to prevent, any ailments and symptoms like bloating, swelling, stagnation of energy. So if we don't, physical manifestations may occur. So in this case, we could find disorders in these parts of the body. So that could be disorders of the reproductive organs, menstrual issues, sexual dysfunction, lower back pain, knee pain, and lack of flexibility. Other issues could be loss of appetite for food, sex, and for life. So we tend to be storing up depleted vitamins and minerals for the winter, and sometimes adding on a few extra pounds with higher fat foods to stay warm. All the foods I mentioned here are so nourishing, right? We think of soups and stews and chilies. So root foods are good here to bring the grounding energy in. So the carrots, beets, turnips, and the dark leafy greens for so many essential vitamins and minerals. And also squash, any kind of squash brings, beta carotene and other vitamins and minerals. And also nuts and seeds for your healthy fats. And these are just to name a few foods. Even in our own country, this list will vary from, different parts of the country and what's growing right now. But I would love to hear what is growing and it's hardy right now in your state or in whatever country you live in and you're listening to this right now. So we saw that Pluto rules the pancreas, and this is good to keep in mind going into the holiday season, like I mentioned. So not going overboard with the sweets, not putting additional stress on the pancreas. And digestive enzymes may be needed to add extra, to digest extra fats, carbs, and proteins for all the traditional foods surrounding this season. And I want to just touch a little bit on herbs. And again, we're going to concentrate on that fixed water. And I'm just giving a few examples here. So thinking again about fixed water, like I mentioned, we want to be moving the energy through the body. So there's herbs called lymphagogues. So that helps to move that fluids and energy through the lymph system. And also we want to tighten any loose or tissue states that may be loosened or lax with that fixed water. So 3 really great herbs are red clover, golden seal, and calendula. There are so many herbs out there for fixed water. If you want to work with me in the future, I can help you to really target in and hone in on which herbs are good for you, depending on your constitution and the constitution of the herbs. But I'm also looking at what is growing here in Central North Carolina, where I live. So right now I've got nettles and mugwort and motherwort, horehound, and I just harvested a bunch of elderberry, so I make elderberry syrup. So all of these things are abundant right now, and so it's time to be making soups with the nettles and tea with nettles, and which happen to be very high in vitamins and minerals. And mugwort and motherwort, that is a very bitter herb which stimulates the gallbladder. So it does help with digestion. And horehound and elderberry is known, to boost your immune system and help you through that sick season. All right. Okay, so moving forward with stimulating the body through movement. So thinking about letting go to flow, like that. Again, going back to the stagnant water, we want to bring flow into the body. So want to be moving stuck energies, again, related with fixed water. And we want to focus again on the 2nd and 5th chakras. So with balancing the physical body, we want to bring in graceful movement, flow, and flexibility to aid this energy. And if you don't already have a routine in stretching, this is a must, right? Stretching is something that you should definitely incorporate into your daily routine. And set aside time to focus on trigger areas. You can also include some slow neck rolls for the neck area. So some activities to consider are dance for that flow movement, water activities like swimming, maybe some rowing, sauna or cold plunges. I love biking, and I like to mention that to my women clients because it does work that second chakra area. Definitely hiking or trail running it's great this time of year, especially if you can get to a body of water, even to sit by water for a while. Remember, elements like water, fire, air, and earth all have a frequency in nature, so that the body is receptive to. So immerse yourself in these energies as much as you can. So a few yoga poses I included here. First is the bridge. Might be blocked here a little bit, but happy baby, pigeon, and goddess poses. These all focus on second chakra. And also remember, breath work is so important here, right? So get the oxygen into the cells, get the blood moving, and breathe deeply and focus on those energy centers and focus on the poses that target those areas. All right. So moving on into empowering the mind. So as we all know, mental health is essential for our mind, body, soul work, and it sometimes gets little attention in our general health care. So going within to balance our emotions during this time is key during Scorpio season. And I want to stress here, thoughts and emotions are energy, and they can manifest into physical malfunctions in the body if they get stuck or are unresolved. So these practices are here to help the energy centers start flowing again. So ways you can work with the mind, you can journal or do some automatic writing and then do some reflection on that. So consider how you feel and speak. Again, this is thinking about the second and fifth chakras, and find healthy outlets to distress. And we know so much about how stress is so harmful for our overall health. So find out what works for you, find those tools and incorporate them however you can into your daily life. And also finding a professional, you know, somebody to talk to is finally becoming more acceptable to have a therapist for a healthy mental state, where it used to be something that we didn't really talk about, right? So there is nothing wrong with having a therapist. Some topics for inner work with these energies revolve around guilt and lies. Again, the second and fifth energy centers. This is an emotion, and these are emotions held in these energy centers. The emotions can be great teachers, but they can also bind us. They can hold us back, right? So our purpose here is we want to, again, allow flow in these energy centers. And past emotions can stem from abuse of any kind, sexual, emotional, verbal, neglect, especially stemming from childhood. Addiction of any kind is also resides in this energy center. Poor boundaries for yourself and in your relationships with others and your relationship to money. So that is a lot to consider. I get it. You know, that's a lot. So I would say take one of these topics at a time to reflect. And again, you can do this by journaling or automatic writing. So what healing looks like in the second energy center especially is setting boundary work. If there's addictions, getting into his 12-step program, and also defining healthy pleasures. So that's just a few to name. So when we find that this energy center is balanced, we have emotional intelligence and ability to experience pleasure, and we're able to nurture ourselves and others. And we have the ability to change and be more flexible and have healthy boundaries. So remember, our thoughts are energy, and you can place your thoughts in the past, in the present, or the future. So we need to be conscious of where these thoughts are going and where we're sending our precious energy, right? So even imagining energy flowing and clearing these energy parts are a way for healing and to get that flow going. So I've used affirmations from time to time throughout my life with things I wanted to achieve and different goals. But I find that sticky notes on my calendar or on a mirror or wherever I'm going to see it every day really is very helpful. So I've included a few affirmations here that deal with second chakra. So simple sentences written on a sticky note. I deserve pleasure in my life. I move easily and effortlessly. Life is pleasurable. Or you can add your own, right? Okay. Okay, going on to the soul. So I like to think about self-care for the soul. And again, thinking about water, that water energy, that elemental energy. Remember, even physical elements on our planet have energy that the body can pick up unconsciously, right? So if you visit a lake or a stream or an ocean, that will give you energy that you need to replenish and connect with those water energies. Okay. Even taking a salt bath, again, going into a sauna, a cold plunge. I also like to incorporate sound frequencies. So I found that the second chakra has a range. So whether you're listening to something on YouTube or binaural beats, something with the frequency in it from 200 to 400 hertz is the range that I found. Some even go up to about 500. Just look around and, with some earbuds or headphones, it's great to listen to, kind of imagine that energy going into that second chakra for, again, release, energy flow, and for healing. And I always, for each of these zodiacs, finding your passion for the soul, it's going to be with the arts. And so whether you enjoy art, making art, writing, dance, music, whatever that looks like for you to feed your soul is really important. And it's also a de-stressor. It helps you to be more creative. And it's just a good outlet to have some kind of hobby that you're passionate about. So I do want to mention that I have a new program, Your Body is Your Temple, and it's a very unique program in that I work with my clients via chat message. So we look at the mind, body, soul connection through the lens of some of the things that we talked about today, but it is nutrition focused, nutrition and herb focused. And so again, it's a really unique experience. I think it's the wave of the future. I think this is how we're going to communicate with our healthcare team from going forward. So I think not having to make appointments, you're able to, once you sign up with a program, you have access to your healthcare provider, during the daytime hours. And so that is what I provide my clients to help them meet their goals and get them started on living more harmoniously and in balance. So thank you so much for your time. I'm going to start including monthly videos here for each zodiac sign and how you can integrate them into your mind, body, soul. I will also post all of my information for with my information, the program information. So, and please make comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on the video and the content here. And please like and subscribe. Thanks so much.